Opening day of turkey season is always a highlight. You know, we're on one of my neighbor's properties. It is literally loaded with birds. He's got a dog leg that's in there. They're all going to be roosted in there. I'm excited to get out in the stand. Starts getting light, and there's a bird that goes off to the right. There's another bird that's on the left. I was pretty sure on the left there might have been two. But they're going back and forth. I'm like, well, we're in a pretty good spot here in the blind. And next thing you know, the birds fly down. It kind of gets quiet for a while. You hear a gobble here and there. And I'm thinking about moving just because I'm a very impatient person. And next thing you know, there's a deer. There's another deer. And then a little buck. But as that little buck was out there, all I can hear is gobbling. And I could tell it was towards the neighbor's other food plot. And I'm like, we gotta move. We just gotta move. Finally, the whitetail bust out of there. It's time to pack up. We're gonna go mobile and try to get them over there. I'm not a blind guy. I've shot a lot of turkeys in a blind, but it's more, I love to run and gun.
We're not going to get in the blind. Just sit on the edge of that field because they're going to head that way. I'll call. He likes to want to get cut. So we'll try to call him.
Today, I think the most excited I was is I knew the gobblers were there when we did the end around and came up close because they're gobbling in the woods. I had a couple sick moments when we're walking down, we're in the wide open, and all of a sudden the deer turns and it's starting to come down the lane that we're on. I'm like, oh no. Because what happens is if she spooks, she blows, it's not like the turkeys know why she's blowing, but they realize that deer saw something and it's getting out of there. So a lot of times they're going to do the exact same thing. Not once, but twice we had does that looked right at us, even a couple times take steps towards us, but then continue to start feeding again and work their way on. Now the mistake I made, I probably shouldn't have called right away, but I couldn't see the entire food plot. So I called just to make sure I could locate the gobblers, but then they got so fired up, they both ran out into the field. Well, now we're caught on the same wide open lane that we were before, and we were literally 20 yards from the tree that I wanted to get to, because we sat there multiple times and I'm like, oh no.
Due to encountering whitetail on the way to his turkey spot, will Brad be able to find success? Or will the deer end his turkey hunt early?
If you're not familiar with TSS, I want to take a minute and talk about it. So TSS stands for Tungsten Super Shot. Tungsten is denser than lead, so it's heavier than lead. Therefore, you're going to get more pellets in a smaller area, right? So if you're shooting number 9s, which is what we all use in the tungsten world, or a lot of us do, you have a high velocity of shot shell BBs in their pellets. What that translates into, more means it's going to be with a heavier weight, it's holding a tighter group as it goes to that turkey, so it's going to give you better range, plus it's going to put more pellets into the kill zone. So when you're shooting at a turkey and he's in your sweet spot at 30 yards, prior to this, when I was shooting lead, my group was probably maybe about this big at 30 yards with my 20 gauge that I like. With tungsten, it is literally, it's probably the softball size. And when you hit them with the tungsten, I still shoot them at 30 yards. That's normally where I like to shoot my turkeys. It dang near rips their heads off. And you'll see that from the turkey that I shot. He literally, when you hit him, boom, he fell over. He was not hopping around, he's not jumping. I mean, it basically just knocks them right off their feet and kills them instantly. It's a great way. I know the shells are expensive, but they're worth their weight in gold.
Previously on Modern Hunter.
Now the mistake I made, I probably shouldn't have called right away, but I couldn't see the entire food plot. So I called just to make sure I could locate the gobblers, But then they got so fired up, they both ran out into the field. Well, now we're caught on the same wide open lane that we were before, and we were literally 20 yards from the tree that I wanted to get to, because we sat there multiple times, and I'm like, oh no. But I thought it was gonna work out. They kept coming and coming. I'm like, oh my God, I'm gonna get a shot. Even though I'm standing here in the wide open road, I got the gun up. But the bird finally turns, and he just kind of paralleled us for a while, and then he turned and got a little bit deeper. I'm using TSS. He's probably, I guessed him at 50 yards, 55 yards. He's probably in a killable distance, but as a hunter, we're obligated to make a good shot, right? My feet were turned, the bird's over here. So first off, I'm not gonna be the steadiest. Second is, you know, I'm gonna take a killing shot. I wanna make sure I harvest that animal, and I just didn't have the confidence in myself. It was more in the feet position, everything else, it just was not a good shot for me to take. I kind of let him go because he was headed to another road system, another trail system, right, that connects two different food plots. And once he got in there, we're quiet for a little bit, and I heard him gobble, and I was like, dude, we gotta get to the other food plot, they're headed that way. And we were able to book around, hightail it over, set up, called once, boom, they're right there, and you could tell they're headed our way. 5 minutes later, he comes out into the food plot, and that's the end of the game.
Sweet. That hunt was awesome.
If I had to guess, he's gonna be a little older bird. I could be wrong. Same trail as a deer trail this morning. This is normally how we hunt, so we normally jump up and we roam a little bit, and this property is absolutely perfect, but he has a road system. So if you know where the turkeys are, you normally can move on them. And sure enough, just a couple calls and boom, success. Doesn't get much better than that. What a great turkey hunt. What a great day. Great way to start the season. It's a long season.
Up next.
You know, my son's got tags. We got a friend from Federal, JJ's coming into town. With as many birds as we're seeing as well as hearing, I know everybody's gonna get at least one opportunity. It's gonna be a great season. I can't wait to get after them again.
You're watching Modern Hunter. Modern Hunter is brought to you by
Now I'm gonna take you to JJ's hunt. So we set up in this, literally right above where all those gobblers were just a few days before that. We get down there, it is pitch black. I mean, it is early, and we get to the stand, and I send JJ up. I said, I'm gonna crawl down and put the decoys. And when I mean crawl, I crawl because you just don't know where they're roosted, and I just didn't want any birds to see me. And it's still dark. Get back in, I'm feeling good about it. I'm a Diet Mountain Dew drinker. It is pitch black in the deer stand. I crack open my Diet Mountain Dew as JJ's drinking a little bit of coffee out of his mug, and it goes, and they gobble. And literally, we are right on top of them. I mean, I don't know where it is in the dark, but it is close. And I remember looking over at JJ, and all I see is his big white eyes. He's like, So now it's starting to get light, and my birds like to gobble. And there's, you know, one is gobbling. Pretty soon there's two gobbling. And I looked at JJ, I said, I think I hear three of them. There's definitely a turkey in the tree, but I don't think it's done. It might be a hen. I just saw her moving around. And as it's getting lighter, I found them in the trees because you can easily pick them out, and I get the camera on them, and they're putting on a show. They're putting on a show. And I looked over at JJ right before this. I said, oh, they're getting ready to come down because they're gobbling so much. And he goes, what's going to happen? I said, they're going to fly down, boom. They're going to go to that corner. They're going to pop up on the pond bank. They're going to strut all the way down the pond bank, and we're going to shoot them right there in that corner where the decoy is. And just like clockwork, I mean, it looks like I'm an expert turkey hunter, right? The first one flies down, poof. Next thing you know, he's on this corner of the pond bank, and he's just taking his time. He's pirouetting, he's gobbling. Next thing you know, there's a second one there, and honestly, I don't even know where the third one went. And come to find out, I don't think he ever flew down. But long story short, that bird takes forever. I mean, literally my pond's probably 75 yards long, 70 yards long. And I bet you it took him a half an hour to go down. And the funny part, when you're hunting out of a Banks blind, right? I'm looking at him, I got this big window and I can see him all the while. He's in the dead spot for JJ. So we weren't even calling, and JJ be like, what's he doing? It's like, he's doing the same thing he was a minute ago when you asked. A couple of minutes goes, but what's he doing? It's like, he's made it about 5 yards, but he is doing the same thing. This bird takes forever. And then literally right before he rounded the bend to come to the decoy, hen started going off behind him. And I was like, JJ, he's either gonna come or he's not. I would get ready to shoot, and drops off the pond thing. And I'm getting nervous now because JJ's not shooting. But there's a branch that came down, and once the gobbler cleared the branch, boom, JJ shoots. Well, the second one now comes and he gets in the spot. I'm like, forget about filming. I got another tag. We're shooting this gobbler as well. JJ hands me the gun, boom, and he's a little bit further than I thought. He's probably like 65 yards away. Again, we're shooting TSS. Normally I would have never shot at that. He hits, flies over us. I could have probably shot him in the pond, but I thought he was gonna light on the other side and I was gonna shoot him. And then he runs over into the woods. He's dead, he's fallen. And JJ and I had in fact doubled. If it wouldn't be for TSS, JJ was shooting the new 28 gauge. I shot probably the bird with his gun, so I shot it with a 28 gauge. Wish I would have had my 20 for a little bit more shot, but TSS extends that range so much. It is phenomenal.
All right, well, this doesn't happen very often when you actually call down a bird from the roost, at least for me. And it was just awesome to see the turkey gobbling with all his buddies around him also gobbling. And flew down, saw the fly down, which was great, started striding right away. Then we saw a second one right start striding right behind him. And then we knew just be patient and let him walk up to the decoy. We tried the new final approach decoys this year, and they worked pretty good. But this one got a little distracted. He didn't go all the way up to the decoy. He heard a hen behind him, and he started turning and started walking to the hen, and so I tried to get it out of strut and get his head up with the call. That didn't work. I knew I had the head with the red dot, so I tried to take a deep breath and really be patient with the shot and squeeze the trigger, and it worked. I feel like I got a little lucky with the shot, but I think all shots on turkeys have a little bit of luck. So this is just fantastic. I'm so glad to have the opportunity to harvest him, and with the 28 gauge nonetheless.
Coming up, with 2 hunts successful toms on the ground, will that streak continue for Brad's son Noah?
Hey guys, today I want to talk about one of my favorite knife brands, and that's Outdoor Edge. This is the new HTX, which I love because it is a bigger, it comes in 3, 3.5, multiple sizes, replaceable blade knife. This one has the big handle, but what I really like about it, it's got really good grips, replaceable blade. It comes with a pack of blades. In here is your skinner, your gut hook, everything you want in a knife is right here. Best part is you can just replace the blades. You got everything right there. I used to be a swing blade guy. I am the new HTX guy. This is gonna be in my pack, and it will be in my pack for a very long time. If you want more information, check out outdooredge.com.
Previously on Modern Hunter, both Brad and JJ have been able to find success in the turkey woods. Now, it's time to see if Brad's son Noah can do the same.
So it's finally third period here. My dad went out and shot one first period. Second day, I was with him first day. We never had any luck that day. He shot one first period. We didn't have a second period take here. First time, third period, opened it up this morning. I have a take, my brother's got a take. My brother couldn't go, so I elected, hey, I'm going. We had to walk, we had to do a loop to get to the tree that I wanted to sit at, just because I didn't want to bust out these turkeys. It was a good 500-yard walk just to get to the tree. But hey, in the end, we had hope it was going to work out. So when we got to the tree, we sat down, kind of just got everything situated. I looked up, there you could see 5 turkeys sitting less than 50 yards away, kind of just sleeping, weren't sure what was going on. I'm hoping they thought it was just a deer. When we were sitting down, it was pretty quiet here in the morning, couldn't hear a ton of things. However, 5 minutes later, the woods erupted. Pretty much all the spots that I have blinds in, the turkeys were there and they were gobbling their heads off. Our turkeys weren't gobbling much. I was a little worried that, hey, they saw us walking in. We've been having a bearded hen on the property for a while now, and this bearded hen, she's got probably a 7-inch beard. So when she lit in the decoys, I thought it was a tom in. It took a minute to realize, no, that's not the tom at all, that's the bearded hen. However, the tom was in the distance, he kept gobbling, he was working himself in, all the hens pitched down. It was awesome to see. You can count how many hens were up in the trees. Super cool to see. I always love it. Tom started coming towards us, and instead of being okay with his 6 hens, he wanted to have them all. So this Tom was coming in to grab his last 10 and probably going to beat up this turkey. I was running out of real estate. I set the decoys a little farther to the left than I wanted, but when you're in the dark, you can't really see everything. I didn't realize my whole left side had brush. That's how you do it. My guy was going crazy. He wanted that last head, which I said a little close, but that turkey didn't know. So, hey, I'll take it. It's a good day. It is a good day. This turkey started gobbling. He saw that decoy and he was not happy with just his 6 hens. He was going to come in and grab his last hen and let that decoy know, hey, you can't come, grab this hen. It's a great day. We got to the truck, I flopped the turkey down and I just realized it's got a double beard. This is my first ever double beard. I've never shot one and it's kind of cool that it happened like this.
When it comes to Wisconsin turkey season, very seldom do we have an unsuccessful turkey hunt. And this year was no exception. I mean, we were very successful. Everybody got their birds, and better yet, we all tagged out within the first couple days.